Here, and I'm getting ready to start my Facebook Live. Hello, everyone. It's Tracy here at Flourish and Thrive Academy, and I'm doing some double duty here. I'm doing Instagram Live and Facebook Live all at the same time. And I'm excited to be here today to talk about 4 ways that you can get more sales on your website, which I know is something that a lot of us are trying to do. Build an online business, build a business where we're having sales sort of come in overnight or inquiries for our products, and selling more jewelry just in general online, which is just a really awesome way to grow a brand. I have my notes over here. I'm just going to move them over. Hi, you guys. Anyway, so I want to share a little story with you. A couple of years ago, let's see, how many years ago was that to be exact? About 7 years ago, to be exact, I closed my business. When was that? 2009. It's 2017. So I guess I closed my business about 8 years ago. But about 7 years ago, I was sort of restarting a new business. I knew that the way I was going to get customers was to meet them online, whether it was on my website as like sort of a digital postcard, or if it was meeting new clients who had never sort of even heard of me or my brand. I knew that I was going to meet them online, and I knew that my online presence was going to be really important, because before that, in my first business, my primary business model was wholesale, and maybe about like 2% of my sales actually came from my website, probably even a smaller fraction than that. Only 5% of my sales total was from direct to consumer. So I knew that this was going to be a huge, like, revolutionary thing to really grow my brand, grow my exposure, and get me more business. So 7 years ago, I found out about some things that you could do to improve your brand, or improve your website, which I'm going to share with you sort of as we walk through this little Facebook Live today. And I'm going to also share with you where you can find out a little bit more about how I learned all this stuff. So I learned a little bit more, and what ended up happening was I built a new website, tweaked it based on what I'd learned, and started getting inquiries daily. And now, I think a lot of you who know my story know that I have a very, very part-time jewelry business that makes multiple 6 figures. And I get about 5 to 6 inquiries for custom jewelry design every week because of some of the things that I've done. So I wanted to share some of those things with you today so that you can do the same things. And for those of you who are in our Laying the Foundation course, you are learning some of this already. For those of you who are not in our Laying the Foundation course, we missed you. We wish you would have joined us, but great tips here anyway. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and hey, if you guys are showing up here live, Jess is here in the comments to support you. Tell me that you're here, because I love to know who is on with me right now. You can post in the comments below. So the first things first, our website really serves a lot of purposes for us who are growing businesses and brands online. It's not only sort of like a digital postcard or a digital business card, but it's also a place where people can buy your jewelry. They can find out more about you and your products. And it's also a place where people who have no idea who you are can actually find you through organic search or through social media, lots of different ways that people can find you. And with all the changes and the algorithms going on in social media, there are some tried and true practices that are still working to help convert sales on your website. So we have a couple of different things that we want to look at here before I dive into the four ways to get more sales on your website. We have to assume that we are nurturing our existing customers and that we're driving traffic to our site on a regular basis. We're doing things to sort of get people there, which that's a whole bigger story. And that we actually have a website in lieu of like something like an Etsy shop in the first place. And some of these things can work for your Etsy shop as well, but they're really important. So for those of you who don't know, so I'm going to sort of dive into these things right now. The number 1 most visited page on a website is actually your About page, which seems sort of interesting for a jewelry company, because you might think that your number 1 most visited page might be something like your products page. But the number 1 most visited page is your About page. So when someone lands on your website, they want to learn more about the brand and more about who you are. So depending on how you put yourself out in the world, you might want to decide that you write an amazing bio, in the first person, or you might want to sort of create some sort of brand voice. So I learned some of the best things I know about writing an About page from my mentor, Forleo. And today I'm going to share with you a training that she just released today that is called the 6 pillars to, I can't remember the rest of it, but it's basically the 6 pillars to a successful online business, which is really, really important. I can't wait to share a little bit more about that training for you. But one of the things, and I also interviewed Marie, she's going to be on our podcast next Tuesday, which I'm really, really, really excited about. So make sure you tune into that episode. But one of the things that she taught me about the About page, I used to have this really stuffy third person About page. I used really formal language. I talked it as if it was all about we instead of I. And in the beginning, especially before I had a team, I tried to make my company look bigger, which it doesn't really matter. And the new day and age of writing a really great About page is really about making it personal and creating a connection with your ideal client, which I think is really important. Oh my gosh, look at all the hearts coming in over on Instagram, you guys. Thank you so, so much. I love it. I love it. So your About page, #1 most visited page, and it's your opportunity to really connect with your audience, which I think is really important. So #1, don't make it boring. #2, for most of you, I'm going to suggest writing it in the first person. I think that is really, really important. And #3, you need to make it about your customer, your dream customers, the people that you're trying to attract, not yourself. And I know that sounds really weird, but there are ways to do this. And if you're in our Laying the Foundation course, you're getting direct feedback from me. If you're in our mastermind, you're getting direct feedback from me and from Robin and our team, etc. But if you don't have access to this, think in terms of why your jewelry brand actually matters to your dream customers. What are some of the things that are going to be deal breakers or deal initiators, maybe I should say, in actually buying your brand? So for instance, on my About page, one of the ways that I connect with my clients, a lot of people who are coming to my website are either buying engagement rings, wedding bands, something for a very special moment in their life, or they're buying heirloom redesign. So I know a couple things about my dream clients. They like original product. They aren't necessarily the types of people who are going to shop at a place like Tiffany's. And they might, but they're more eclectic than that, and they're typically going to be the kinds of people who want something really original and unique. But most importantly, they want a piece of jewelry that they can wear all the time that really taps into who they are as a person, right? So my design philosophy and process is really about connecting with the designers on an intuitively designing for my clients. So instead of saying I intuitively design for my clients as the opening statement on my About page, and if you want to check it out, you can head on over to tracymatthews.com. I write something very different. How can a piece of jewelry really dial into the essence of who you are? That's not the exact words. I can't remember them exactly. And then I talk about an experience that I had with one of my clients. And then I go into the types of people that I actually would buy my jewelry and ask questions around that. So are you someone who considers themselves a true original? Are you someone who values a luxury, unique product over a little blue box? Are you someone who da-da-da-da-da? So it's connecting with the actual audience, and instead of actually just, it connects actually with my dream clients instead of just talking about myself, which I think is really important. The other thing on your About page that most people forget is you need to tell your customers what to do next. What do you want them to do when they stop by your website? Do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to fill out your contact form? Do you want them to look at your portfolio? Think about that. If you do not have a call to action on your About page on your website right now, go edit that and tell them what to do next. So mine, I want them to fill out my custom jewelry form. So a couple times woven into my About page story is calls to action that actually takes them to the next step of the sales process. So think about it. If your About page is the #1 most visited page on your website, you need to make sure that it's good and that it's capturing your audience's attention, but also telling them what to do next. Very, very important. The next thing that you want to get, the next way that you're going to get more, so that's a great way to get more sales online, but the next thing that is really important for you to do is to make sure that you're building trust. So this is extremely important for people who are trying to capture cold traffic or cold leads, people who don't know who you are and are coming to your website for the first time. I think this is really important because we don't think, we might just like pop up some website, but we're not really talking about how to connect and build trust. So there's a couple different ways that really build trust with customers online. First and foremost is social proof. Testimonials from your previous clients, press, PR, validity that you've been like covered in different publications and stuff like that. Those are really important ways to build trust online. But another really important way that I think people forget is that you can actually talk to your customers and build that by the things that you put on your website. Maybe it's in your FAQs section. Maybe it's your money back guarantee. Maybe it's your return policy. Maybe it's the video that you put on the homepage of your site explaining your process and who you are and why they should actually trust you. I mean, you wouldn't say it in those many words, but there's ways to think about this, of ways to build trust online. Also on your blog, the content that you write on your blog, the case studies that you show, the happy customers, all these things are a wonderful way to connect with your clients and build trust with them online so that when they are ready to buy, they feel comfortable making the next step and they don't think that you're just gonna like take their money and run away with it and never send them a piece of jewelry. So remember that, really, really important. Building trust online is key. And one of the things that I love about what I learned from Marie, I've been doing some of this already on my website. Like obviously you want to feature your press, but I wasn't showcasing client testimonials. I also wasn't doing some of these other things that really actually build trust on your site. I was blogging for no reason. I wasn't really thinking about how to strategically use my blog to not only drive traffic and get customers, but I was just like putting random stuff out there. I look at my old blog. I forgot the login. So if you guys want to have a good chuckle, you can go check it out over, I think it's Tracy Matthews Designs Inc.blogspot or something.com. If you Google Tracy Matthews Designs Inc. blog, you'll see like my first blog and you can have a chuckle at some of the stuff I posted. I posted sample sales and stuff about yoga, random stuff. It wasn't really a useful blog for, at least for building trust. It was sort of like a funny thing. So anyway, one other way that you can build trust is that your choice of images, the images that you use on your site, what you're actually doing with those images, how are you telling them what to do next? Imagery is really important. So it could be your lifestyle shots. It could be images of your happy customers. It could be images of the experiences or emotions that are explained sort of through the process of buying your jewelry, whatever it is. So by building trust online, that allows you to make more sales because people trust who you are and it gets them to actually take that next step and put your jewelry in the shopping cart and check out. Super important. So the next way to make more sales online is to build your email list and actually email those people. I know that sounds so logical, but I review websites night and day, all day long. I just got off a call with one of our masterminds. She has a very, very successful business. They're trying to transition a lot of their Etsy clients over to their website though. And one of the first things that I said to them is like, what's up with this join your mailing list thing hidden at the bottom? People are inundated with emails these days. They don't want to sign up for an email list just to sign up for an email list. You need to give them a reason to sign up. And that might be, I hate discounts, but, a lot of people use discounts or free shipping or other things. I don't like discounts for an opt-in or a mailing list sign up in the beginning because if someone's just coming to you for the first time, they might not be ready to buy. So why would they sign up for a discount? So think of other ways that you can capture their attention. And this is really where it's important to think about who your dream clients are and what matters to them. Would it be that they get involved in some sort of special membership where they're getting exclusive access to something? Is it that they want to learn more about whatever your jewelry stands for? So one of the best ones that so it could be like, let's say you have a healing gemstone jewelry line. You could have, the top 10 healing gemstones guide and how to use them for health and healing. So thinking about like what's relevant to your brand, like what is something that's going to get someone to opt in and get them to take the next step. And then we could talk about email funnels until we're blue in the face, but we're not going to do that today, and how you can sell people on the back end. But at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is that you're building your list, and you can do that from, capturing the people who've already bought, getting people to sign up at your live events and shows, creating contests or events where you're actually collecting email addresses and they have to opt in order to win. Setting up your website in a way so that you're actually getting sales on the site and growing your brand. Really, really important to move people through the process. And then also making sure that you have enough opt-in forms and enough types of opt-ins. The opt-in form is actually the form that's on your website in multiple places. So Jess, I think you're here. Can you head on over to the blog? And there's a couple years ago, I wrote a blog post about the different placements of where you should have your opt-in forms on your website. So I learned all of this from Marie. This is really great about how to set up your website to get the most conversions and get people to actually opt in from your list. So make sure that you check out the training that I'm going to mention at the end of this Facebook Live that Marie Forleo is doing, because it's a really awesome training. And Jess, there is, he says, email funnels, the possibilities are endless. We'll talk about that another day. Jess is going to grab that blog post, give her a second to find it, and she'll post it in the comments below. Awesome, perfect. So opt-in offers, offline, and you also want to think just like one more thing. How can you move offline people into online? What are some of the things that you can give them incentives to buy your jewelry on your website? So like when you're at events, you can offer them, access to some special pieces that are only available to those live event people and get them buying. They get a postcard at the event, get them to your website. You can do the same type of thing for your wholesale customers, get them involved, but move people from an offline situation into the online world and get them excited and buying over there. So, all right, and then I think one of the most important things that we forget about, so as you build your email list, you want to make sure that you're emailing people, because we need to remember, this ties into the fourth way to make more sales online, is that you need to create brand loyalty with your existing customers, which is really, really important. So it's there. You probably heard me say this before, but there's this really standard rule that you've heard in marketing and other things in sales, and it's called the 80-20 rule. 80% of your sales are going to come from 20% of your clients. And that 20% are your best clients, the people who buy over and over and over again. So I just want you to remember this, because a lot of us are always trying to get new people, instead of nurture the people that we already have. And that's really, really important to keep the people that you already have that are already buying from you happy and buying again. And so there's a couple ways to do that. I was talking with a designer the other day, and she has a really great collection, great sales, but they haven't, and she has something that is like really collectible jewelry that a lot of people, it would appeal to a lot of different kinds of people. And one of the things I asked her is like, what are you doing for people who actually have already bought your jewelry, and then you're not designing anything new? Like, what else is there for them to buy? So you need to make sure that you have enough products so that people can buy things that are new every season. If you're only selling like one type of thing, you don't refresh your assortment or offer them anything new that they can buy and add to. This is really important, especially for you personalized jewelry people, because that's something that, we forget. Like, we have this great personalized line or collection, and we're not adding anything to the assortment. We're continuing to do the same thing over and over again. So once someone buys once, they're not buying again, and getting repeat business is the easiest way to grow a brand and to grow your business. So make sure you do that. And then you can create loyalty with your existing clients by offering them, insider pricing, membership rewards. You can set up a loyalty program and give them like a free piece of jewelry after they buy X amount. Think about different ways. Hey, everyone on Instagram, how's it going? I see a bunch of you here. Awesome. Tons of people on Instagram, tons of people on Facebook. So make sure that you are creating loyalty with your existing clients. I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure I don't forget anything. Give them repeat purchase incentives, and then also special offers. Like, one of the things that I love that one of our designers does is she's a VIP insiders community. It's sort of like a membership. They don't have to pay to be a member, but they have to be on the list. Like, the only way that you can be a member is to get on an email list. So you want to make sure that you're like rewarding those people for being on your list. So she only has sales twice a year, and the people who get first look at those sales are only the VIP people. So, and it goes out to the actual the public 2 days after the VIP people get the first pick. So there's a lot of ways you can incentivize them to stay engaged and to stay on their list, and it's really, really important. So nurturing your existing customers, super key. to building this stuff. So I, of course, love to share with you, I see so many of you here, love to share with you the people and the places where I've learned to do all this stuff and make it better. We teach some of this over at Flourish and Thrive Academy, but I'm not a total online marketing expert. I try to be as best as I can. So I like to refer people to the best when I possibly can. My mentor, Marie Forleo, is hosting her magical training that is leading up to the launch of her B-School course. And for those of you who have ever heard me talk about Marie, the woman's amazing. As I mentioned earlier in this episode, she is going to be on our podcast on Tuesday. I interviewed her early January, and it was the best interview I've ever done with Marie. I've sat on the couch many times with Marie. She asked me to be a case study for her B-School program years and years ago because I had such success, and using what I learned from her, I was able to grow my business from zero sales, like basically $2,000 in sales 1 month from one wedding band. 18 months later, I was doing $30,000 in profits in a month. And she just has a really great approach to building a business online so that it works for you. And it's all focused on just online presence. And I love it so much. So you can check it out over at flourishthriveacademy.com/Marie training. Hey, Jess, can you post the link below, flourishthriveacademy.com/Marie training? Actually, I'm going to type it here so you guys can see it. And this training is really incredible. It's a 3-video training that, let me type really quickly. I'm not a very good typer and a talker at the same time. /Marie training. And this training is going to be up for about a week, I think. Make sure you grab it. Super great. You learn so much about everything that's, sorry, I'm scratching my head here. Everything that's really important about growing your business online and creating this online presence that that is, really unforgettable. And I really believe that because of what I've done to my website, that is exactly the reason, and what I learned from Marie, that's exactly the reason why I'm able to do my business so part-time and get 5 to, at least 5 inquiries every single week on my website for people asking for custom jewelry. And it's talking with someone, I've been talking with people a lot about this lately. These days, because of Flourish and Thrive Academy, I don't have the extra time to even put that much extra effort into my jewelry brand and into my marketing. And the thing that's interesting is that I've been able to keep consistent sales just by blogging on a regular basis, sending out an email once a month, and some of the things that I've done to set up my website so that traffic's coming in because people are finding me. And that's the most important thing. You don't want to can't just put up a website and expect people to show up. You need to create something where they're consistently going to you. And Maria is really the best at doing that. Plus everything, she's just so inspiring. Her story is amazing. And I really highly recommend that you guys check this out because it's a really awesome opportunity. And you're going to hear more about Marie and her story and some of her wisdom on Tuesday as well on our podcast. It's like one of the best episodes we've ever done. So I'm really, really excited about it. So definitely check that out. I see a lot of you here. Let's see. So if you have an online business, I want you to hit the heart or the like button. I want to know if you have your website. I'm really, really curious about that. I'm going to answer a few questions here too. Let's see. I'm trying to get to questions. So Victoria says, how can I ask an Etsy customer for her email? What are the right words? I think, and Nicole says, I can't wait for Marie's podcast. So Victoria, I know that Etsy has, I'm not an Etsy expert, but I know Etsy has a lot of rules and restrictions on what you can do as far as collecting email addresses. My suggestion would be to put something in the box after you ship and give them some incentive to buy on your website from there, and that you can get them to opt in to your website or give them something for free where they can opt in. That's a way to collect an email address. You really have to check the Etsy rules because I know that's against their policies and you could get kicked off. All right. Abby says, I said this before, but Abby said, email funnels, the possibilities are endless. We'll talk about that another day. That's so true. Jess also, this is a long URL, posted this great blog post that I wrote a couple years ago called Opt-in Ideas for Jewelry Designers. Really great. Victoria says, if I don't have a website yet, does it make sense to ask people for emails? You certainly can. You can start collecting them in a mailing program like MailChimp or something like that. Hey, Jess, I don't know if you can do this, but can you head on over to Instagram and post those links in the live on Instagram on our live feed, on the live video that's playing right now, the Marie training one and the blog post one. That would be awesome if you could do that. Instagram peeps, I have Jess on it, so let's give her a chance to do it. Love all you guys up here on Instagram. Purchase perks. All right, love all the hearts that are coming in. Thank you so much. Abby also says, I love that 80% of your sales come from 20% of your customers. Remember this, super important in building a business. So true. So Lonnie says, how do you find time to make your jewelry with so much time spent on dealing with a web page? This is so, so great. So there's a couple things. If you haven't checked it out yet, Jess, I'm going to ask you to drop this link too. We have a really great checklist that helps you with time management. It's called our Time Optimizer Checklist. I think it's called, if you head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com and /time checklist, you can grab it. Basically, I think it's a combination of a couple of things. Understanding how to manage your time properly and how to chunk your time into segments on your calendar. And this is something that we talk about in this checklist and also in our Time Optimizer formula, which is a really great little product that we have that's amazing. So that's the first step, is knowing how to properly schedule your time. And then the second step is to understand what needs to be focused on first, focusing on your revenue generating activities. And then as far as updating the web page and keeping all the products and stuff like that, it's understanding what is going to move the needle the most. Personally, as soon as you can afford it, I always recommend setting aside a budget for hiring virtual assistants who can help you with things that take up a lot of time, like website development, or enlist in a friend to do it. So make sure that you do that. I really hope am I on my personal page, or am I on my, I think I'm on the Flourish and Thrive page here. I double checked. So Jess is asking a question. I can't figure out how to get on it. Jess, to post the links on Instagram. Jess, I think you need to go to the stories option and drop it down there. So if you click on the story, you'll see the live video happening. Hope that works, Jess. But you have to be probably logged in as you in order to drop that link, I'm assuming, and not Flourish and Thrive. All right, helping my team out while we're live so they can get you guys all the links. All right. So Lonnie, I think most importantly, it's like learning how to manage your time and then outsourcing, getting virtual assistants when you can actually invest in that. That was one of the first things I invested in. I found Peter. He used to work for me. We just parted ways. It was very sad. He was with me for like 5 or 6 years. And Peter was my first virtual assistant. He worked very part-time for my jewelry business, helped me with simple website updates, posting photos, all that stuff, and helped me with my blogging and all my marketing, and then eventually got someone else to help with that too. All right. Nicole says, such great nurturing, such great info. Nurturing current customers is key. When I start focusing on that, it made such a difference in my business. Yeah, Nicole is going gangbusters with her stuff. Lauren says, hi you guys. Thanks for joining. Katie says she's worried about outsourcing when she grows. Don't worry about it yet until you need to. And then Jess has the link here, flourishthriveacademy.com /Marie training. Awesome. Nicole says she can't wait for Marie's podcast. I can't either. All right. Tammy says, should we reach out to customers who we have not heard from in a while, or is that too pushy? Absolutely not. I definitely think like reaching out to people you haven't heard from in a while is really important. In fact, you can reach out to them and just say, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. I just want to check in, make sure you're still loving your jewelry. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help improve your experience or something like that. Or you can also say like, hey, I just wanted to check in and see how you're loving your jewelry. I'd love to see a picture of you wearing the pieces. And then see what they say in response, and you could start a conversation and share with them new stuff that's going on your website. Absolutely. How much do you focus on SEO? I know it's important enough to be dangerous and wearing all the hats in the business, so it's overwhelming. I think that you can download a really easy app or something on your website, depending on the type of website that you have. There's one for WordPress called Yoast. I'm sure Shopify has one too. The things that I would worry about SEOing on my website, sorry, my green juice hiccup here, would be blog post titles, the content in the blog post, and to make sure that keywords are touched on and hit. So that's the most important. I think SEO is important. I wouldn't get overwhelmed by it, but you can use some of these apps that help you do it as you're going so you're not overwhelmed. And then Abby says, come back Tuesday and listen to the podcast with Marie Forleo, flourishthriveacademy.com/podcast. Yes. I'm going to post all these links after the video's over to you on the top so you can grab it. All right. Okay, cool. Jess was able to post the links. Hey, Jess, can you also post a link for the opt-in blog post as well? And for the time checklist, flourishthriveacademy.com/time checklist. That would be great. Let's see. And then Lori says, having systems in place are very important. Yes, Lori, thank you for reminding me about one of the most important important pieces of the puzzle is to have systems in place, which helps you streamline your business and makes it a lot easier for you to grow. So Elizabeth, I'm not really sure if this is a question or a statement. How about college students to intern for credit? Oh, maybe to get all this stuff done. You absolutely can do that. I hired a college student who did PR for me for 6 months, and she worked for me for free because she was getting credit for her class. So that's a great, great opportunity. So Sarah's sharing something about Etsy. If a customer came through Etsy originally, you cannot use their email. You cannot email them directly. You can, however, encourage your followers on Facebook and Instagram to sign up for your mailing list. That way you're not targeting a specific customer, and it's up to your followers whether or not to take you up on your information. All right. I saw a lot of people selling on Instagram. What are your thoughts on that? It's the best social media for me so far. I think if it's working for you, it's a great way to sell. Instagram's awesome. And Instagram is soon going to have shopping. Victoria says, thanks, Sarah. The podcast will be released on Tuesday. We usually send out an email by 11 a.m., but pretty early. So make sure you listen to it. It's great. But you can hear some more of Marie's wisdom just by heading over to flourishthriveacademy.com/Marie training. And you can get a heads up. I think the first video is released today, and the second video will be released on Monday, which is super awesome. And then you can listen to our amazing podcast with Marie on Tuesday. I'm so excited for you guys. You have to listen. Christine said, this is a little bit off topic. You guys, I kind of want to keep the questions to the website. So if you have things about your website, fine. So Christine asked about a CPA. Should they specialize in small business? I'll answer that real quick, but I'm not going to answer any more questions that aren't about online business because this isn't a general Q&A. We save that for our Laying the Foundation course members. So, and our people in our private communities. I want to keep it to topic, Christine. So, but yes, you definitely want someone who focuses on small business and understands a product-based business. I guess that's the best way to put it for you. And ideally, I think it's best to get someone in somewhat local. It's not necessary, but it could be important. Katie says, this rocks. Thanks for all the help. If you don't have a website, can you utilize Facebook to do trunk shows and offer customer deals? Of course, Laura, you can do that, but highly recommend you putting up some sort of website. Really easy to get into a website. There's a lot of free templates. Shopify has a really inexpensive offer. I forgot to mention this. Like one of my favorite website platforms right now is Shopify because of all the tools and integration that you can use. And we have negotiated a special discount for Flourish and Thrive Academy users. And Jess, if you could post this link below, that would be great. Head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/Shopify, and you can check out their options, and you can get 10% off your monthly Shopify recurring fees. And they also offer an extended trial, so you can test it out. So, Laura, you should probably look into that. Abby's backing me up here. The podcast goes live in iTunes early Tuesday, and it stays up forever, and will be on our podcast. Awesome. Okay. And then Maria, here's some more focus for Etsy. You can do a transaction email like your product is on the way, and here's a link for me to sign up to receive more updates from me. Great idea, Maria. Thanks for sharing that. Tisha says, does F&TA have any pricing formulas to help with paying an employee via piece work as opposed to hourly? Tisha, we cover a lot of this in our in module 2, but the way I did this, because I paid people hourly, is we figured out how much time it took them to actually make the piece of jewelry, and that's how we broke it down. So you want to have time, like timestamps, basically like for how long it takes to make a piece of jewelry. So with your glass, you want to, you know, whatever they're doing, if they're making the beads or if they're just assembling the pieces, you would time out how long that usually takes. And you know, that's part of testing your people to make sure that they're like working fast enough. So what we did is you still have to break it up into like some sort of, let's see, like per piece time, but you just time it. And then you test your people. If someone's taking a long time to make it, then you don't have them on that project. Okay, Victoria says, don't have a website yet. Does it make sense to build an email list? It always makes sense to build an email list. All right. And then Lori says, thank you. Working on it, love. All right, you guys. I'm sending big hearts to you. Thank you so much for all the hearts. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Everyone here on Instagram, thanks for sticking here the whole time. I love doing these dual lives now that Instagram has live. It's super fun. So thanks so much for joining me today. And I'm going to, after this is over, I'm going to post all the links that I mentioned above in the comments, and you guys are awesome. Thanks for asking such great questions. I think Robin's going to be back on Facebook Live next week. I will be traveling to my mastermind in Puerto Rico. I'm taking the weekend off to actually relax on the beach because I've been working very hard. I've already gotten sick twice this year. So it's time for Tracy to get a little R&R just for a couple days and not work nonstop. So anyway, definitely, let's see. I'm thinking of opening. We have a couple more questions coming in. I'll answer them really quickly. Then I got to jam. Carol says, when I search online, I get inundated with pop-ups to ask for my email when I'm just looking. I find it rather annoying. I've chosen not to ask for emails on my website because of this. I think I'm making a mistake. Any input? You are absolutely making a mistake. If you don't like pop-ups, what you can do is either not put a pop-up on your site or put a pop-up that times when people are leaving, the pop-up pops up then. Or you can time the pop-up so it pops up like 15 seconds after they land on your website and not right away. But yes, you're making a big mistake not collecting emails on your website. Trust me on that one. Connie says, I'm thinking of opening up a shop on Etsy or Shopify, which would be better for Canada. I think that you always need to have a primary website, which is something like what Shopify would do. That acts as a website. Etsy, I always think of as a second tool. There's so much more you can do with your own website. You can't, if you really want to build an online presence, Etsy's going to limit you, and it's not the best way to continue to grow your business long-term for a lot of reasons, but it is a great second way to capture additional sales. And let's see. All right. Jess says the beach sounds fab right now with all the snow. I know. I have to show you guys. I'm just going to turn my computer around and I will show you here on Instagram. Let me see if I could double duty this. You guys can look out my window. Oh, it's not working. But look at all that snow. So much snow. So much snow, you guys. It's a snowstorm here. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us today. I really would love for you to check out Marie's training. Head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/Marie training. It's really incredible training. She only releases it once a year. For those of you who haven't heard of Marie Forleo, make sure you check it out. And I won't see you guys next week on Facebook Live, but Robin will be here, and she's amazing, as you know. And awesome. Have a great day, you guys. And for those of you who are laying the foundation, I'll see you at 3 for our Q&A call. Super excited. I'm going to rest my voice a little bit so I don't lose it because I'm about to. And have a good day, everyone. Bye. Bye, you guys. Thanks for watching today. Oops, I'm still here.